Today on Public Eye News, in Wisconsin, 2 people have been found dead in Genoa County, and the Hiawatha Music Festival has been canceled for this upcoming summer.
Later, Ross will have your weather for the weekend, and Max will have your sports update. Hi, I'm Maren Parks.
I'm Ross Ray. Happy St. Erhold Day, and welcome to Public Eye News. A grand opening was held today for the University of Michigan's new Ford Motor Company robotics building. The 4-story complex cost $75 million and has 3 floors that will house classrooms and research labs specifically for the study of the future of robotics. Researchers and engineers from 23 buildings and 10 programs across the campus will be working with Ford to develop the robots of tomorrow. The University of Michigan and Ford are also working with 2 historically black colleges in Atlanta, Morehouse, and Spelman, allowing students there to enroll remotely in a pilot robotics course. And as first reported by MLive, a Bay City woman has been charged after allegedly stealing a 5-figure sum from the Superfluid Oil Company in Saginaw. According to prosecutors, 65-year-old Mona M. Holm had been stealing from the company for nearly 26 months, forging a signature of one of the company's owners into checks to herself. Holm was charged at the Saginaw County District Court for an arrangement of 1 count of embezzlement between $50,000 and $100,000 and 11 counts of uttering and publishing, with both felonies punishable up to 15 years and 14 years of jail time, respectively. Holm's next court date is currently pending. And officers are currently investigating the deaths of 2 residents in Genoa County, Wisconsin. The Genoa County Sheriff's Office reported that bodies of a 33-year-old man and a 42-year-old woman were found during a welfare check at the home in the town of London. Their names or manner of their deaths have not yet been released.
The Upper Peninsula Substance Enforcement Team, or UPSET, is working on reducing public access to narcotics by taking drug dealers off the streets. TV6 reports that the 4 UPSET teams stationed throughout Michigan's Upper Peninsula have had a total of 438 cases and 202 arrests in the past year. Most arrests thus far have been of higher-tier dealers who are picking up drugs directly from source cities such as Chicago, Milwaukee, and Detroit. For anyone concerned for a loved one struggling with substance abuse, you are encouraged to contact your local Sheriff's Department's Angel Program, the Great Lakes Recovery Center, or the Eastern Upper Peninsula Opioid Response Consortium. To leave an anonymous tip or donation to UPSET, call 906-228-1002. The Board of Directors of the Hiawatha Music Co-op announced yesterday that unfortunately they are postponing the 42nd Hiawatha Traditional Music Festival until July 22nd through 24th of 2022. The board had been hopeful that this year it would be safe for large crowds to gather again, but due to the ongoing pandemic, they feel it would be irresponsible to host a large event regardless of whether or not it would be held outside. In spite of this sad news, the board would like to let the public know that they are working on an online alternative to the festival, so it won't be a total loss. They would also like to remind the public of their Live at the Fold concert series that is currently taking place every Thursday night at 7 p.m. on their Facebook page at Hiawatha Music Festival, as an alternative way to keep their musical culture in absence of the summer festival. Republicans requested to investigate Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer's nursing home orders and whether or not the data provided by them is accurate. This request was denied by Dana Nessel, the Michigan Attorney General. Nessel claims that her reasoning for denying the request is lack of evidence that Whitmer violated any laws, and she has no reason to doubt the information provided to the state by Governor Whitmer. Republicans fault Whitmer for allowing recovering COVID-19 patients to be admitted or readmitted to nursing homes, despite the fact that Whitmer's policies were in agreement with federal guidance. The plan in question is Whitmer's plan to dedicate certain wings in nursing homes to recovering COVID-19 patients in an attempt to limit the possibility of hospital overflow while also minimizing contact between sick and healthy patients. And stay right here, because after this break, we'll be back with your national and international news.
This American carnage stops right here and stops right now.
He invoked it on his first day.
America first.
He incited it through the rest of his presidency.
The Republicans understood the bargain that they were making with Donald Trump.
And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
Trump's American carnage.
Tonight at 10 on WNMU TV.
Welcome back. Senior ministers from Japan and the United States joined forces today to criticize China's coercion and aggression in Asia. The meeting in Tokyo is an effort by the Biden administration to reassure worried allies in Asia after the occasionally confrontational dealings with the Trump administration. Another meeting will be held in Seoul, with those talks being the focus of the North Koreans and their nuclear ambitions. And the EU drug regulator insisted today that there's no indication that the AstraZeneca vaccine causes blood clots as the governments around the world continue to fight with COVID-19 vaccine dilemmas. With the concerns of possible side effects of this new vaccine, the European Medicines Agency has urged governments not to halt the use of the vaccine at the time when the pandemic is still taking thousands of lives each day. Conflicts with the AstraZeneca vaccine continue as it awaits results of an EMA review this Thursday.
President Joe Biden signed his $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan into law last week after it cleared Congress with no support from the Republican Party. Biden also kicked off his Help Is Here tour yesterday with Vice President Kamala Harris visiting a Las Vegas vaccination site and First Lady Jill Biden touring a New Jersey elementary school. The Biden administration is hoping that this tour will spread information about the relief package so that the American people are aware of what they are entitled to. The White House has declared a theme of focus for their relief efforts on every day this week. Small businesses today, then schools on Wednesday, home evictions on Thursday, and finally direct checks to citizens on Friday. Yehuda Meshi Zahiv, founder of an ultra-Orthodox rescue service for victims of Palestinian attacks and recipient of the Israel Prize for Lifetime Achievements, has been facing a growing list of sexual abuse allegations from the past several decades. The scandal has not only brought Meshi Zahiv's alleged crimes to light, but has also highlighted the pervasivity of sexual abuse in Israel's ultra-Orthodox community, claiming the culture of silence within the community frequently allows these types of crimes to go unreported and unpunished. Last Sunday, March 14th, the Israeli police announced that it had opened a formal investigation into Meshi Zahiv's case.
Britain's Prince Philip is back after a month-long stay in the hospital. His release comes where we're learning new information about the royal family's reaction to Prince Harry and Meghan's interview with Oprah. CBS's Tina Krause reports from London.
British police escorted the Queen's husband, Prince Philip, as he left a London hospital after 4 weeks. The 99-year-old headed home to Windsor Castle after fighting an infection and undergoing a heart procedure. Palace officials say he's in good spirits.
Huge relief, that, especially for the Queen, a bit of good news for her in what's been a very rough few weeks.
Prince Philip returns to a royal family in turmoil.
Look, it's been really hard.
After Oprah's explosive interview on CBS with Prince Harry and Meghan exposing claims of racism.
There's a long way to go in terms of healing relationships in the family after that bombshell interview.
Sunday Times royal correspondent Roya Nika revealed Harry and his brother Prince William have been in contact for the first time since the interview aired. Harry reportedly hopes to reconcile ahead of the unveiling of a memorial to their mother later this summer.
Harry has talked to his brother, and he has talked to his father, too.
CBS This Morning's Gayle King says she talked to Harry and Meghan over the weekend.
The word I was given was that those conversations were not productive, but they are glad that they have at least started a conversation.
The insights come as Buckingham Palace has hired an external law firm to investigate claims Meghan bullied royal staff while she was a senior royal, charges the Duchess denies. Tina Krause, CBS News, London.
The Vatican issued a controversial message yesterday, saying that the Catholic Church cannot bless same-sex unions. CBS's Tina Krause reports from London.
The Vatican has announced the Catholic Church cannot give its blessing to same-sex unions, writing, "God does not and cannot bless sin. He blesses sinful man so that he may recognize that he is part of his plan of love and allow himself to be changed by him."
None of us like the term sin, but that's the business of the Church.
CBS News Vatican consultant Father Anthony Figueiredo says the Vatican decree is a strong affirmation of traditional church doctrine.
If we bless a union, we're actually putting them on a par with marriage. That, for the Church, is outside what God intended in creation.
Figueiredo says Pope Francis has gone further than any other pontiff in welcoming and accepting people with homosexual inclinations. But when priests came to the Vatican to clarify if blessing same-sex unions is allowed, the answer was no.
He's saying, yes, everyone is welcome, but when it goes against God's laws, then it becomes sinful.
Pope Francis added this was not unjust discrimination, but rather a clarification of the liturgical rite of marriage. In some countries like the U.S. and Germany, parish priests had already begun blessing same-sex unions. Tina Kraus, CBS News.
Stay right here because after this break, Ross will have your weather report and Max will have your sports update. Stay tuned.
Why do I have to go so far away in order to get a high-quality education?
You would go from the inner city to an affluent school system.
The whole experience gave me one vital thing: how to deal with other people that were different from you.
People have all these stereotypes about us, like when they'll start a beat, expect you to rap, but that just wasn't me.
There was a point where I was like, it was like having two Fatimas. I feel like a weird disconnect, like I don't fit in either spot.
Saturday night at 8 on WNMU TV.
And welcome back to Public News. My name is Ross Ray, but you already knew that. Looking behind me at the academic campus, we have some cloudy skies right now, but that is going to be opening up later in the week for some warm and sunny temperatures. Looking at our current conditions, we have overcast with a temperature of 32 degrees. Our winds northeast at 7 miles per hour and a barometric pressure of 30.00 and falling. Moving on to later tonight, we have partially cloudy skies, a low of 20 degrees, and a wind southwest at 5 miles per hour. And moving on to tomorrow, the sun's going to start peeking out there with some partially sunny skies, a high of 43 degrees, and a wind southwest at 5 miles per hour. Looking across the UP here, we have clouds covering the entirety of the UP. Once again, we won't be having those in the upcoming days. So we're going to start here at Sault Ste. Marie at 35 and cloudy, 32 over in Manistee, Escanaba at 34, and down in Menominee it's going to be 33. Looking at the other half of the UP, we're going to start at Iron Mountain at 33, Ironwood at 37, all the way up in Houghton it's going to be 40, and back here in wonderful Marquette it's going to be 32 degrees and cloudy. Let's look at your week ahead. You can see that sun starting to peak out there on Thursday with a high of 37, low of 23 degrees and some mostly sunny skies. On Friday, the sun will be out in full bloom with a high of 40 degrees and a low of 26 degrees. And on Saturday, we're going to have a high of 53, low of 33. Get out there, enjoy that sun on Saturday. But now we're going to turn over to Max Stevens with some sports updates.
Thank you, Ross. With MLB's opening day fast approaching on April 1st, the state of Michigan is poised to amend its capacity limits on outdoor events so that more fans will be able to attend Tigers home games. As it currently stands, Tigers games would be capped at 1,000 fans in attendance in compliance with current COVID restrictions. But with cases on a general decline, and given that Comerica Park can hold more than 41,000 fans, many are pushing for a further loosening of restrictions to allow more fans into the ballpark. The Detroit Tigers have been working in conjunction with the state health department, medical experts, and Major League Baseball, and the franchise plans to announce details on increased ticket availability within the coming days. Taking a look at some of last night's NBA action, the Milwaukee Bucks outgunned the Washington Wizards for a 133-122 win, thanks largely in part to a brilliant 31-point, 15-rebound, 10-assist triple-double from Giannis Antetokounmpo. The Detroit Pistons, meanwhile, lost their fourth straight game, 109-99, at the hands of the San Antonio Spurs. In rather unusual fashion for an NBA game, no player on either side scored above 20 points. Josh Jackson led all Pistons scorers with 15. Elsewhere around the league, the Brooklyn Nets continue to nip at the heels of the Eastern Conference's first-place Philadelphia 76ers as they picked up a 117-112 win over the New York Knicks, while the Phoenix Suns mirrored that success as they continue to chase the West's top dog Utah Jazz with a 122-99 win over the Memphis Grizzlies. And tonight in the National Hockey League, the Detroit Red Wings will look to get back in the win column as they host the Carolina Hurricanes to conclude a two-game set, puck drop set for 7:30. Last time out for these two teams was back on Sunday when the Hurricanes won their 8th straight game, 2-1 over the Wings, to move within a single point of the Florida Panthers for the top spot in the Central Division. Anthony Mantha netted the lone goal for Detroit while Jonathan Bernier stopped 30 of 32 shots faced in the loss. The Red Wings will also be without veteran winger Bobby Ryan, who's out tonight after suffering an upper body injury in Sunday's game. After tonight's game with the Hurricanes, the Wings will have tomorrow night off before welcoming the Dallas Stars to Little Caesars Arena for a two-game set beginning on Thursday. And Maren, I know you've been wanting to do this one for a while, so let's get right onto it, shall we?
Sure. Scientists have recently discovered that certain varieties of sea slugs are able to regrow their entire bodies, including organs, after being decapitated. The Japanese sea slugs, one of the larger variety of slug, was previously thought to be unable to live without a heart to pump blood to its brain, but it turns out that is not the case. Upon being decapitated, the slug's head turns green and begins to photosynthesize, acting like a plant or algae. The slug is able to keep itself alive on this method of photosynthesis for about 10 days, after which its body will have regrown enough for it to live normally once more. And that is all the time we have for you today on Public Eye News. Thank you for tuning in and join us tomorrow.
The preceding program was produced by WNMU TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television, in studios located in Elizabeth and Edgar Hardin Hall.